Negros, indios, nativos, somos los verdaderos israelitas.
¿Esto dónde lo dice según el versículo?
Esto dice en la Biblia.
Show that Puerto Ricans love America, but that ain't reality.
Police attack was planned beforehand. Only white cops were assigned.
Then our only recourse is to defend ourselves.
We tried to move people onto the sidewalks, but the police were all out for blood.
Another series of protests was staged by thousands of students, parents, and the Brown Berets. In June 1968, the group that had become known as the East LA 13 was released on bail.
Demonstrate to our people and we deserve better and that we could, get better.
I don't think there's ever been a time when we need more of the spirit of the young lords than today.
I guess we had no fear. We just did what we thought at the time was the right thing to do.
National captain of the Black Panther Party. They are making it their business to process arresting me and my wife, through a process of arresting numerous Panthers on the block.
Police just went in and started beating them viciously. It was ugly. They were just yelling at us, you dirty spicks, dirty Mexicans, who do you think you are?
Negros, indios, nativos, somos los verdaderos israelitas.
¿Esto dónde lo dice según el versículo?
Esto dice en la Biblia. Está escrita en la Reina Valera.
We got to live in this district. The whiteys don't come down here, man, and live in the fucked up houses, man. The whiteys don't come down here, man, and have all the fucked up fucking no heat in the fucking winter time. You understand? We do, Jack. So therefore, wow, we got to make it a better place. You understand that?
Like they want to make it a racial problem, So we didn't want that, So I jumped in, I put in for my boy, because he's a black brother, So we made an unracial problem.
We the Puerto Ricans should rise up and defend ourselves against these dogs. The North American is trying to steal our identity as Puerto Ricans and call us Americans. We Puerto Ricans are Puerto Ricans till the day we are born, until the day we die.
Chicanos killing Chicanos is what they want. Blacks and Chicanos killing each other is what they want. That's how they run this place. Once we get together, they don't run shit.
Salak, hey, shalom, y'all, Bashim Shabbat. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters out there. This is the ISUPK's Inconvenient Truth. As always, every Wednesday, Salakia, we're getting a late start on it today due to some problems we were having here, but we're back on and we're ready to go. Today's topic, you know what it is, man. We are still the same in America. We still haven't found so-called equal rights. We still haven't found so-called equality. We still haven't found any of that in America. America has not given us any of that to Black, Hispanics, or Native American Indians. We still remain the same as always. We're still in a nation that has done nothing but rob, rape, murder, and hate on us. And it's apparent, as you can see with what happened. In Buffalo, New York, with all the brothers and sisters, man, that were shot and killed by white American supremacy, because that's exactly what that is. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I've been seeing some brothers talk about a lot of the problems that are going on with us, but the biggest problem that we have, just like they talk about, is that we still believe that we're equal in America. We still believe we're part of this nation. We still believe that there's love for us here. And obviously, as we can see, there is no love for us here. This hasn't ended. The murdering of our Black brothers and sisters in America is not going to stop. It's starting. America is back in full-blown, in full go. America's in full go. They're starting to shoot people again. They're going out, murdering Black, Hispanics, Native American Indians. The whole COVID thing was temporary stop to that. But now it's all back, and it's all up and going just the way they've always done it. You know what I mean? And if we don't realize that, it's because we're still asleep in the nation that hates us. You know what I'm saying? So, without no further ado, we're going to go right into it. As I said before, this is the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is the Inconvenient Truth. As always, every Wednesday, we're coming out of California. You know what I'm saying? And I am Kazak Yad, your host for the show. So let me downloading a couple of things here. I want to let you guys know something, man, that in Tijuana, Baja California, the border town of Mexico and United States, Tijuana, they have an encampment there. They have an encampment there of Ukrainians, where they're accepting Ukrainians who are fleeing the war to go to this encampment in Tijuana and seek asylum, seek help. And Mexico has opened its doors to help these people out. They've actually created a place there, a haven, a safe haven, where they can go and they can, be safe. I'm going to say it like that. This is where they can be safe. This is the place where they're going right now, right? For they can, feel wanted, feel safe, where they don't have to worry about their war, where they don't have to worry about anything. Here they're feeding them. Here they're giving them safety. Here the Mexican people, right? The Mexican government and the people have made Ukrainians feel at home. They've made them feel, safe. They've made them feel wanted. They've made them feel, like here is a place that you can come to in Tijuana, right, Baja California, where you can come over here and you don't have to worry about the war that's happening in your country. Baja California, Mexico, has actually, created a safe haven for the Ukrainians who are fleeing the war in the Ukraine. They're not only accepting Ukrainians, they're also accepting Russians. You know what I mean? I want to bring this picture up real quick. Okay, here it is. So this is right here. It says the Russians and the Mexicans sharing food and games. It says migrant Russians and Ukrainians are in an encampment in Tijuana. And this is the news that's coming out regularly in Tijuana, because one thing that Mexico wants to show is how they are humane. You know what I'm saying? Mexico is trying to make sure that they go out there and they post these things so that the world knows that Mexican people, that we show love, that we're humane, that we're good people. Shalom, Ayar. Yitzhak Bashim for coming in, man, and the water for joining us. You know what I'm saying? They're actually showing love to them. Let me see. Ayar, if you're okay with it, do you think I can invite you to this broadcast, Ayar? You're okay with that? Let me see if I can get you in. If you're all right. Let me get over here real quick. I don't know if you're at your slavery right now. Let me get you out here. Let me see. Ahí si puedes, Ayar, te mandé una invitación. ¿Ok? Ahí te la mando, mi compa. Oh, you're at the slavery? Okay, no sweat, no sweat, no sweat. So let me continue. So we got these Ukrainians, right, being looked out for in Tijuana, Baja California. We got these Ukrainians who Mexico is doing something good. Okay, I'll make sure to get me off so I can send you that invite. So Mexico is, showing love to these Ukrainian people. Mexico is doing something to save, to help the Ukraine, to help these people, to make them feel better. You know what I'm saying? Is that good? I'll tell you something, man. That's Mexico, the government showing love. For me, I would personally think that we should really consider what they've done to us and really think about, do we really want to help these people? Give me 1 second. Talaki, everybody. Give me 1 second. Because I want to set this up just in case we go off on my on this program that you're watching now. Remember that I'm also logging on live on my Facebook page, just in case you want to log on to that one also. I'm also on ISUPK The Res, ISUPK Inconvenient Truth on YouTube, so you can catch me at any one of those. So let's move on, right? You got these Ukrainian people in these encampments in Baja California, Tijuana, where you're seeing, you're seeing people actually being treated humanely. Mexico is treating, right, these Russian, these Ukrainians, these people that are fleeing the war, right, asking for asylum. They're treating them in a humane way. They're looking out for them. They're looking out for these people. They're actually, I'm gonna say this, they're looking out for them more than they're looking out for our own people. Ain't that a shame? They're looking out for them more than they're looking out for our people. But let me not go all the way over there, because Tijuana, the Mexican people, we are humane people. When the Haitians came to Tijuana, they did the same thing for the Haitians. They actually gave them a place where they could find some refuge. They actually helped the Haitian people so that they could have a place of their own in Tijuana. What little Tijuana has, because you got to remember, Tijuana is also, man, if you think you live in the ghetto, you should see the way people live in Tijuana. They live in houses made of cardboard. I've shown this before. They've made of houses made of whatever wood they can find. They got these slums, man. They got these slums. That's what I'm going to call them. They got these slums they call home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to see these places where our Mexican brothers and sisters live in Tijuana, and how the government doesn't really do much to help them. I showed an image once of, of Amazon, and how Amazon was able to buy property in Tijuana and set up an Amazon warehouse. And right next to the Amazon warehouse is a slum, a ghetto where my people live. You know what I'm saying? And let me go on further. Let me go on further because I'm gonna show you this this image. If you are on my listen, if you're on my Facebook page on Kazakyat, look for the page that's the Inconvenient Truth on StreamYard. Try to get onto that page. Try to jump onto that page or onto the ISUPK, the Inconvenient Truth on Facebook. Try to get onto that page. I want you to see these images of how my people live, of the audacity of these American corporations who go and take our properties and leave us living in slums. You know what I'm saying? Leave us living while they live largely and take advantage of our workforce, because that's what they do. They're taking advantage of our workforce, for they can become richer while we live in the slums of our own nation, of our own countries, right? And I'm gonna, man, let me show this image for my people who haven't seen this. And remember, share, man, share this broadcast. Don't just watch this broadcast, man. Don't sit there and just watch this broadcast. Share it. People need to see this because no one is talking about this. No one is.
These people are not going through what our people were going through in the detention centers in America. These people are given a haven where they can. This is the encampment. This is the actual encampment in Tijuana of the Ukrainian people. That looks more like a day out in camp when you go camping out in the mountains, out in San Bernardino Hills. That's what their encampment looks like. They're not being held prisoners. They're not being held, against their will. They're being treated in a humane manner. That's the way they're being treated. Once again, if you're on my ISUPK Facebook, Kazakh Yad, try to find the StreamYard ISUPK, the Inconvenient Truth on Facebook, or Salakia, the Inconvenient Truth Facebook StreamYard, or the Inconvenient Truth on YouTube, so you can see the images that I'm posting. You have to see these images. You got to see for yourself how the Ukrainian people are being treated in a humane manner by the people in Mexico, by the people in Tijuana. What little they have, because everybody knows that Tijuana is it's a ghetto, man. It's a slum, But even though we live in that condition, we still have the humanity to treat people correctly, unlike America with all its goddamn riches, right? And the way they treated our people. Salaki Ayar, can you hear me now? I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. I saw that my mic was muted, but I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. But America had our people living in conditions that are man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm gonna read on the way they treated our people, right? According to the report, details of which were first reported by Buzz News, 826 of the 2,669 children detained at the facilities were held longer than 72 hours in violation to federal court. This is talking about the Hispanic kids that were being held in the United States in the detention centers. You know what I'm saying? This is what that's speaking on. Speaking about the treatment of our children. This is the way the Ukrainians are being treated in Tijuana, Baja California, in Mexico, right? And this is the way our people were being treated in America. This is how we're treated in America. You can see that image, right? If you're on my Facebook, Kazakh Yad, I suggest you look for that StreamYard, and I suggest you look for that Inconvenient Truth Facebook. I mean, Salakia, YouTube, so you can see these images. These are important images. This is something you need to see. This is something you need to not let go of your mind. This is unforgivable. The way they have our people and the way Mexican people treat the Caucasian man. The way they're treated. The way they're treated is different than the way they treated us. Here is the encampment in Tijuana right here. This is the encampment in Tijuana that you're looking at right there. That's the way the Caucasian man is being treated in the encampments in Tijuana, Mexico, that are coming in from the Ukraine war seeking help through the Mexican government. And this is how we're responding to the help compared to how they responded when we needed help. This is us in cages. This is us being treated like animals. This is us being treated less than human, right? And you know what? Because I'm seeing, I got people on my Facebook. Bear with me, everybody, because people are still coming into my Facebook, and I want them to see these images. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, y'all. Bashim Shabbat. I'm gonna, since you couldn't get on that one, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this camera around and just go with this. All right, here we go. I can deal with this right here. I'll help it out. So this is us in the detention centers of America, right here. This is how we were treated. This is how we were greeted when we were facing war in our country. This is how we were treated when we were facing revolution and poverty and destruction in our country. In El Salvador, in Guatemala, in Honduras. This is what we came to meet in America. This is how America received Hispanic brothers and sisters from all across Latin America when they were trying to escape the wars that were happening in their country. This is how they received us. Let me go into some news articles of the treatment that they had prepared for us. Shalom, everybody. Thawada for joining in. It says there seems to be an open contempt for rule of law and for basic human decency. The committee needs to hear directly from the heads of these agencies as soon as possible in the light of almost daily reports of abuse and defiance, right? This was coming from the U.S. Government of the treatment, right, of our people in the detention centers of America. And I want you to see this. I want you to see what's going on with our people, because this is the reality. This sounds like it may come out of a movie. Sounds like it may be something, too far-fetched, right? But this is the people that we're dealing with. The Caucasian man, the American, this is what we're dealing with. The reason that terrorist, I'm going to call him that, went into Buffalo and opened fire on those black brothers and sisters is because this is the true heart that these people have. This is how they feel about Black Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And we're all going through it in our own way. Hispanic people in this way, Black people by being murdered on the streets of America, Native American Indian people disappearing off their reservations, their women disappearing by the thousands, their children being found at the Native American residential schools, still finding thousands of children that have been buried there. Thousands. I'm not making this up. Thousands of children have been dug up in the reservations on Salakia, in the detention Salakia once again, in the residential schools, the boarding schools that existed for Native American Indian children. This is the 70s and the 80s. This is not too far. This is not too far out. This is not far off. You know what I'm saying? And this is the way we're being treated. This is the way America sees us. This is how we're being how could you say, this is how we're being treated in this place. Look, this is the detention center. You can see this. I know you can see this. This is the detention center in America. Look at how they had us. Look at the detention center. Look at how we were being treated. This is animalistic. This is shameful. A country that calls itself humanitarian, equal rights they use, right? What else do they use? They use words like what is it? Human rights, right? These are the words they use to describe America, a nation of love, a unity, right? Brotherly love, America, freedom, right? The greatest nation on earth, humane, right? They're humane. They even the animals, to them, everything is important. Everything is important. To them, being humane is so in their movies that they make, they show how America is such a humane country, such a loving country, how they're going to save the world. They're out to save everybody. They're out to make sure that everybody is good. And, you know, I seen this movie the other day. I'm going to tell you this movie I watched the other day. It was a movie of Nelson Mandela. It was on what is that, Netflix. It was a movie about Nelson. Well, it wasn't about Nelson Mandela. It was about these bank robbers that started the Nelson Mandela, the Free Nelson Mandela movement, right? In this movie, you got these three black two guys and a young lady who are thieves, and they decide to rob a bank. And the bank robbery goes wrong. And since it goes wrong, they're trapped in this bank. They're trapped in the bank. They can't get out. They're surrounded by the police. So they decide to hold all the people in the bank hostage. Then it occurs to one of the bank robbers, you know what? We're not going to get out of here. It's absolutely not going to happen. We're going to die in here. So he decides, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make this a protest movement. It's no longer a bank robbery. Now it's just a statement that they're making. And the statement that they were making was free Nelson Mandela. That's what the statement that they were going to make. So when the investigator or the the police officer or the sergeant or whoever it is, right, the agent goes inside, he tells him, you know what? We're not trying to rob this bank. We want Nelson Mandela free. And just so happens that one of the people that's being held hostage in the bank is a white girl. And she just so happens to be the daughter of a real important person. And once you know it, the movie actually depicts that poor white woman died, gave her life for the freedom of Nelson Mandela. He decided that's what that the movie, the whoever produced that movie decided to use her as the basis of a white woman dying for the freedom of Nelson Mandela. Now, I don't care about the African Nelson Mandela or anything like that. To me, it doesn't matter. You know, that's not the point. The point is that the white people always got to be the saviors of everything. They have to be the ones to save the world, to save everything, to make everything right. But in the reality, in the real world, in this world that we live, right? That's not necessarily so. In this world that we live, what we see is something completely different. And we don't need a movie that's scripted or invented to show this. All we have to do is go on the internet and bring up pictures that prove how they really are, to prove how they treat us, to prove how they feel about us, to prove that we're not really as important to them as they say we are. And it's a shame, because I'm going to show you that in Mexico, right? In Mexico, we don't pretend that we help people. In Mexico, man, they actually help people. These are the encampments of the Ukrainian people in Mexico. This is what you're looking at here. The encampment of the Ukrainian people in Mexico. They're not in cages. They're not being held against their will. They're not being separated from their families. You know what I'm saying? They're not being raped or molested, or they're not dying in here. They're being well taken care of. They're being looked after. Well, you know what our people are doing? This is our people right here. This is Mexican people right here. They're going down there, taking them music, giving them food, giving them water, helping them out in any way they can. These are facts. This is what they're doing here. This is how the Mexican people are helping out the Caucasian man. This is how Israel helps out everybody else but themselves. You know what I'm saying? This is how we help out others, but we cannot help ourselves like this. On the contrary, we're at war with each other. On the contrary, we seem to have an issue with each other. Black on black crime, Mexican on Mexican crime, black on Mexican crime. You know what I'm saying? Native American Indians hating Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans hating Salvadoranians. That's our problem. That we don't know how to be humane to each other. All we know is how to love the other nations. You know what I'm saying? But we can't love each other. For some reason, we can't show love for us. We can show love for the other nations. We can show love for our enemy. But it's impossible for us to show love to each other. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shameful thing to think of? That we can't show love for each other? Salakia, let me turn this around real quick. I can't hold this camera too long. You know what I'm saying? We can't show love for each other. We can't show ourselves that love that we show to other people. And I got more images to show, but if you're on my ISUPK Facebook page, I'm not going to be able to show them. Let me see. I got someone else who just jumped on here. Malakma Shalom Yahal Bashim Sharif Bakata. Malakma, let me try to see if I can bring you in real quick. So you know what? This is a shameful thing, man. If you're looking at the images that I've been posting, you should understand that, man. That's a terrible thing that we're seeing, how that Mexico is helping out the Ukrainian people, but the Mexicans can't help each other. You know what I'm saying? We can't help each other. We can't give love to each other, but yet we give love to this other nation, this nation that don't care about us. Hey, Ukrainian people, you know what they're doing? They got the Ukrainian people in America, right? Going down there in caravans, and I seen the news article. They're coming in their SUVs and their Mercedes-Benz and their Suburbans to take clothing and food and goods to the Ukrainian people out there. They're allowing them to take needs that they have, everything they need, food, water, tents. Like if you're on my, like I said, once again, if you're on this page, you won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna put up some pictures here for you to see what I'm talking about. Let me find that picture here real quick. Let me find this picture. This is important. This is essential for you to see. Here we go. There you go. Look at that. They got tents. They got folding chairs. They got things, all camping equipment needs that they need. Hey, shalom, malak how about Shimi Shabakta?
Hey, Shalom, I don't want y'all better share with us, sir.
Let me try to turn this on real quick. Oh, shoot. Let me try it one more time, Malakman. Can you hear me?
Khan, sir, I'm right here. I don't want. Can you hear me?
Malakman, you there?
Khan, sir.
We're back in here now. So these are, I didn't show these images yesterday, Malakma, but look at this. This is camping equipment that you see that rich people from Burbank, right, from Glendale, Ukrainians, North Hollywood, because that's the area where they're at, the rich areas in California. They're going over there with truckloads of these kind of things right here. And shoot, now I'm going to have to bring this one in here just to show brothers, man, because you can't miss it. Everybody's got to see this, right? They're bringing in all this equipment, high-tech camping equipment, chairs and tents. Look at the tents, right? The chairs, the folding chairs, right? And with that, they're bringing water and food and clothing to help out the Ukrainian people that are in these encampments in Tijuana, Baja California. You know what I'm saying? Let me show the encampment. Right? Look there it is. It's almost like a goddamn street festival. You know what I'm saying, Malak?
Good night, sir. These are Ukrainians right here?
These are Ukrainians, bro. You're looking at Ukrainians in Mexico, in Tijuana, Baja California. These are Ukrainians. Let me show you. Look, it's like a festival for them out there. Look at that. Look at the tables filled with food, coffee, water. You know what? When people wanted to help the Mexican people, the Latin American people that were being held in the detention centers, they were not allowing them to take any kind of help to them. They weren't even allowing them to step inside the detention centers. You know what I'm saying?
Khan. That is crazy, sir.
I'm gonna let you jump in.
Like, I mean, it's like, this is how Mexico, this is how Raza treats these oppressors, man, these gringos, man. Versus how they treat us, man, is like, that's why, man, that Christian church, that Catholic church is one hell of a drug, man. We only treat these people this way because we think they're God. Because of Cesar Borgia, because of white Jesus. That's the reason why we give them such a, such a welcome versus us, man. What so like, I don't want you remember that you remember hearing that supposedly a so-called Hispanic sister was not allowed to be boarded on the trains in Ukraine when they were trying to evacuate. They didn't even let her on the train to get out.
Con, you're right. And black brothers and sisters too. Everybody,
right,
man, that was not Ukrainian was not allowed. Look at this. This image, man, should be impacting to us. They got water. They got a table full of food and coffee. They're being served. They're walking around. Look at this. Is all the stuff they went and collected for their stay. Man, they're being treated like if they were out at some kind of festival, some kind of how could I say some kind of festival, some kind of day out at camp. You know what I'm saying? And this is us right here. This is ours right here. This is us. And let me read you an article from this image that you're seeing. It says at one facility, some single adults were held in standing room only conditions for a week. And at another, some single adults were held more than a month in overcrowded cells, according to the report, which built off of initial inquiry by inspectors general in May that described similar conditions in facilities in El Paso, Texas.
Right. Good night, man.
Look at what it's saying. The article is saying that these people were held for over a month in standing room only facilities in El Paso, Texas. And there were other facilities that were going through the same thing. Standing room only facilities. Let me show you how Mexico is treating the Ukrainians who have gone to seek asylum for a war, the same thing that these people that you just saw on that image came to America for. Here is the difference. This is the way they're being treated. This is a day at camp. This that you're seeing is an encampment in Baja California, Tijuana, of Ukrainians waiting to cross the border. This is the way they're being treated. This is their detention center. They're being taken all these goods, like I showed you, chairs, tents, sleeping equipment, and they're being placed in locations, right?
Wow.
Where they can sleep under a tent. Look at lighting. Where do you see the cages? Where do you see this mistreatment? Look at this.
Right.
This is where they're at. They got chairs. When Mexican people attempted to help the Mexicans that were being, the Hispanics that were being held in the detention centers, when they attempted to take them food or to take them water or to, assist them in living a little bit better, they were denied going even into the detention centers. They were denied access to the detention centers. They were not allowed to even speak to their loved ones. On the contrary, America was moving people from one detention center to another so that their loved ones could not find them. I know because I talked to people that were going through that. They were looking for their uncle, for their brother, and he was in one detention 1 week and then moved to another one another week just for they wouldn't be found. Man, these people are monsters, brother.
Oh God, sir. I mean that like you just said it. I don't want. They are monsters. That's why we say the oppressor, el hombre blanco, is the devil. The Bible speaks of, because you see the way they treat us, man, and then the way they expect us to treat them. You know what I mean?
Right.
These oppressors, have like we're not allowed to get angry. We're not allowed to express any kind of outrage when they do any kind of injustice, when they mistreat us. But they expect us to turn the other cheek, show love. It's wrong for us to hate them while they do this to us, man. And it just only backs up that we're second-class citizens in this society. We are slaves. We're not free people, man. Because if we were free people, Mexico would never let a Ukrainian step into Mexico. You know what I mean?
Right.
Them Ukrainians would be in those tinfoil blankets. They would be locked up in cages at standing room only. They would be forced to drink out of the toilet. You know what I mean? If we were free and they were the second class citizens. But it's the other way around, because that's how they have us, man. Because they think they don't see any humanity in us. They're inhumane. And they only respect their own humanity, man. They only care about themselves. But us, because we're a righteous people, because we're righteous, we're not self-centered, we're not arrogant, we're not, we have humanity in us. We'll give the most humane treatment to these other nations, even when they express their outward hatred towards us.
Right, Con, absolutely. I'm going to show this image here, right? And I'm going to show this image, and then I'm going to read this, so you can see the difference. You saw how Tijuana is treating the people from the Ukraine and putting them in parks, in areas where they can live freely and be safe, but not only safe, but have their freedom. I'm going to read this as you're looking at this image. It says, in June, right, inspectors from the department visited 5 facilities in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas and found children had few spare clothes and no laundry facilities. Many migrants were given only wet wipes to clean themselves and bologna sandwiches to eat.
causing constipation and other health problems, according to the report. Children, 2 of the 5 facilities in the area were not even given hot meals until the inspectors arrived. Man, think about that. And these people right here are getting more than hot meals. These bastards are living large, even in their worst moments.
Salak,
They've got
sir.
everything they need. Go ahead.
If I could, I don't. They getting 5-star treatment, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you something. Here is that image right here. Here is that image. Look at that. Oh, Salakia. This is not it. Let me find it. Oh, I thought that was the one. Man, I want to find the one where they got the taquero, bro. They got one where they have a fucking taquero, man, and I want to show that. There's the one with the mariachi right there. You see that?
Man.
They got the mariachi right there. They got the mariachi, playing music for these goddamn Ukrainians who are seeking asylum there, bro. When they were treating our people like animals. You know what I mean?
So
Man, qué vergüenza. Go ahead.
What's that scripture say? For they that carried us away captive required of us a song. I mean, that's what's being demonstrated right there.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. We've become an astonishment, just the way the Bible says we were going to be.
Right.
All these years while we were in the detention centers, we were an astonishment. People were looking. Oh, there it is. Look at this.
Good night, man.
Man, let me show it to the brothers and sisters here. I just read to you that us, right, in the detention centers, we were getting bologna sandwiches, causing constipation, no hot meals. Children were being held without clothing in detention centers. Our brothers and sisters were standing room only in these cages. Let me show you how Mexico is treating the Ukrainian people. Those are Ukrainians right there. And these are Mexican people throwing out taco stands for they can eat. Look at that. That image should be impacting, man. That image should be something to really think about. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm going to smash this all over the internet when this class is finished. And all of us should be sharing this because this is shameful. They even have an area. Let me show you this. They have an area where they walk through. This is the area that's designated for you to walk through into the detention centers, so-called detention centers of the Ukrainians. So you walk through there and you come into an area that's like this. See what I mean? You walk into an area where they're being held in, their luggage, man, good old white people. You know what I'm saying? And yet they're animals to us. You know what I mean?
Come on.
They have them. They didn't lock them up. They didn't lock them up and throw away the goddamn key. You know what I'm saying? Us, man, we had it worse. Our people had it worse. Our people lived in conditions that were unbearable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Conditions that caused people to say, hey, man, wait a minute. People finally realize, wait a minute, there is some wrong treatment going on there. You know what I mean? I'm going to read from an article from a Washington Post. It says, overcrowded, squalid conditions are more widespread at migrant centers along the southern border than initially revealed. The Department of Homeland Security's independent watchdog said Tuesday its report describes standing room only cells, children without showers and hot meals, and detainees clamoring desperately for release. You know what clamoring means? That means crying. Isn't that what that word means?
I can look it up, sir.
I believe clamoring means pleading, crying and pleading for release. The findings of the Department of Homeland Security Office Inspector General were released as the House Democrats detailed their own findings at migrant holding centers and pressed agencies to answer for the mistreatment, not only of migrants, but of their own colleagues. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we
Salak,
really, man. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, I have the definition for clamor from the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. If you want it, I don't
What
want.
is it? Go ahead.
So clamor or clamoring, to make a din, to become loudly insistent, to utter or proclaim insistently and noisily, to influence by means of clamor.
Wow. Man, people were begging to get out of those detention centers. That's what it was. I'm going to continue this report. It says the report is even more troubling after the discovery of vile, crude comments made on social media by those in the CBP, which is the correctional facility. In other words, the own officers, the very ones that are there taking care of our Hispanic brothers and sisters are online social media making vile and crude comments. It says the CBP responsible for caring for migrant families and children. Man, the inhumanity at the borders is a challenge to the conscience of America. That's what it really is. It's a challenge to the conscience of America. You know why? Because America doesn't have a conscience. Not when it comes to Black, Hispanics, or Native American Indians. There is no conscience when it comes to us. They don't care about us. Go ahead, Malaki.
If I could, sir, they can't. They can't care about us. You know what I mean? Their survival depends on not caring for us. So what we should do as a raza, as a gente, is learn from that and learn that our survival depends on us not caring for them. We shouldn't give a damn about them, man. You shouldn't give a damn about what happens to these other nations. What you should give a damn about is what happens to your people, and your people first and only. That's how we're gonna survive, man. And that's how we're gonna learn to love our people, man. It is by caring about ours, man. We're too busy trying to worry about these other nations, man. We're too busy trying to love everybody, trying to prove that we're not racist, that we're not hateful. When in reality, that does nothing for us, man. As a matter of fact, it makes us look weak to these other nations. That's why that devil could drive over 2 hours. Well, I don't know how many hours he drove on the road, can go to a supermarket and come in and literally kill everybody, and nobody even bothered to fight back, man. The security guard tried to shoot him, and he supposedly had heavy armor and he couldn't get hit. Same thing with Dylan Storm Roof. This devil was allowed to reload and nobody fought back. Because it's our spirit and our soul to want to love these oppressors and never, never even harm a hair on their body. But us, man, for our own, we're quick to ride out and go blast another Mexican, go blast another black man. But we don't have that same anger towards this oppressor.
Shalom to the sister Amat, Amat and Miriam. Shalom, sister, the water jumping on the show. Mosai in Christ, the Waterman, share this show. You know what I'm saying? Share this, man, because it's important. People see the difference of how Hispanics and Blacks, how we treat our people and how they treat us. You know what? If that had been, with that shooting, right, of that white boy out in Buffalo, New York, man, if that had been a brother with the gun, they'd have beat him down. They'd have done anything to kill him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about Black brothers and sisters. If that had been a Black brother, there would have been hell of Black on Black crime right there. They'd have not let another Black man get away with doing that to them. But this is a white boy. They were all calm with their cameras, filming it. No one tried to do anything to stop him. No one gave their life for their brother or their sisters. He got away with killing how many? And no one
13.
cared about giving their life for them. You know what I'm saying? Where is our valiant brothers and sisters? Where is that so-called, in the rap game, they're always talking about, I'll give my life for my brothers. It's always talking about, how hard they are, how violent they are, how they'll kill a man. I'll just kill a man. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Always with their words mean nothing. And the actions they took don't even come close. You know what I'm
Salaki,
saying?
I don't
No
want
one was there to help those brothers and sisters. They allowed it to happen. Go ahead.
for all you vatos out there talking about you quick to protect the street vendors and protect the raza. Where y'all at? You know what I mean?
Khan, the sister Ahmad said that she heard he went to the store the day before. Yeah, man, you know what? I'm hearing that black brother that they interviewed that said that he had met him the day before, that he seemed to be, you know, a little bit off or whatever, but he didn't think nothing of it. Man, that's shameful. Let me show you.
Right.
Let me show you another picture. Right, this image here, you know, and it says we were talking about how the Mexican people were clamoring. They were, you know, they were getting loud, protesting to be set free from the detention centers in America. They weren't just sitting there in the cages freely. No, man, they were protesting. They were clamoring. The word says clamoring. They were out there yelling and screaming and getting together in a manner that they were trying to make a difference to be set free. They didn't want to be in those cages no more. They didn't want to be being held against their will. Man, they were being held in detention centers. Man, what was Hitler's called? Concentration camp.
Right.
The Mexican people and Salvadoreños and Guatemaltecos and Hondureños that were being held in these detention centers, man, they were trying to escape. You don't understand what was happening there. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, what you brought out about the FEMA camps. You know, what is it? Alex Jones was always talking about the FEMA camps, and you always brings this out. Yeah, he was right about the FEMA camps, but what he didn't bring out was that was for you. That was for you, black man and brown man.
Exactly. Right. So let me tell you something. These Mexican brothers and sisters, they knew they were being held against their will. The people that you see in the detention centers, man, we should not forget that. That is not something, you know, people are going to be, well, they closed down, they let them go already, that's over with. No, it can't be over with, because these people were being held against their will. Let me tell you something. If the goddamn Jewish man has not forgot about the concentration camps in Germany, we should not forget about the concentration camps that were here in America for our people, because that's exactly what they were. They were detention centers, were really concentration camps. Our women were being murdered, raped, our children were dying, our brothers and sisters were being humiliated, we were not being fed, our people were living miserably for years in these concentration camps. This is not over. You know when it's over? When we forget. When we decide, we'll let it go. America is real quick to tell you, let it go. Forget about it. It's in the past. This was 5 years ago. It's over. But let me tell you, I'm going to show you, I'm going to read to you how these people felt. It says, remember, these people were clamoring to be set free. It says, some migrants clogged their toilets with blankets and socks in order to be released from the crowded cells. When some refused to return to the cells, Border Patrol brought in special operations teams to use necessary force. Imagine that. Do you know when America uses necessary force? No, you do. Because when you see black people getting killed on the streets of America, that's American necessary force. When you see our brothers and sisters being shot in the cars with their children in it, that's America's idea of necessary force. When you've seen that brother getting beaten on the streets of New York for selling CDs, that's the use of necessary force in America.
Right.
So when I say that the migrants were clogging their toilets with blankets and socks and yelling and screaming and protesting and riling up the cages to be set free, right, to be released from the crowded cells, and that Border Patrol brought in special operations teams to use force, you can only imagine the force they used on these people. The reason why you haven't heard about it is because they didn't allow nobody in there, in the detention centers, to film what was happening to our people. But if you ask a Mexican who was detained there, he'll tell you the horrible story of what happened to him. It's not until today till our Native American Indian brothers are telling their story of the residential schools and the boarding schools that we're beginning to really see what the tragedy was in those schools that they were saying were just educational facilities. Oh, we're just educating the Native American Indians. Were they really educating the Native American Indians? No, man, they weren't. The Native American Indians experienced the same thing we experience in these cages, in these detention centers. And let me tell you something. This is the detention centers right now in Tijuana for the Ukrainians. This is where they sleep, and during the day, they go for their little walks. These tents, you may think that I'm showing a picture of I don't know, what is that? A day at the park or a festival or a meet? No, man. What you're seeing here on the screen are the detention centers right now in Tijuana, and they're not detention centers, man. These are not detention centers. What these are is facilities that the Mexican government and the Mexican people have made in the Tijuana area for Ukrainians to go and seek asylum. While they're seeking asylum, this is where they get to bask in the sun, right? This is where they get to spend their days. Look at it. Take a real good close look at it, because this is what the Ukrainian center looks like in Tijuana, Baja California.
That looks like a swap meet. I'd want if I could.
Man, it looks like a Sunday festival at the park,
right?
With vendors and their friends, right? This is exactly what it looks like. And at night, when it's time for them to sleep, this is what their sleeping facility looks like. This is where they sleep at night. This is where their accommodations are. This is their 5-star accommodation hotel in Tijuana, Baja California. These are goddamn Ukrainians and Russians. This is what you're seeing here. Look at that. All with their families. You see their families there? You see the kids?
Oh, with their families, man. I see that, sir.
You see
I
that?
see that, man.
You see their kids? You see their families? Our families were separated. They didn't want children and moms together. They separated our children. They did the evil, wicked ass thing that they always do. They separated our children. They kept us from growing up as a family. They want these people to grow as families. Look, they have them with their children. Look at that. Just look at that. They call it, what is that word on top? Comunidad? Community. They call it a community. That's how they're expressing how Ukrainians are being treated in Mexico at the borders, at the borderline in Tijuana and other places. They're not saying they're detention centers. They're calling them communities.
Right.
Go ahead, Malakman.
Nah, the one that's heavy, sir. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what's that curse say that you shall have children and they shall be in the hands of another people, right? That's in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. That's how you know the scriptures apply to us. It's talking about us in the Bible. Because these Ukrainians, right? These Russians, right? Also claim, right? They're the same people as Amalek, right? Amalek comes from them. Amalek comes from that region. So this is proof that they're not the people of that Bible. Because in that same picture, you got a whole family together. You know what I mean? A lot of them identify as Jewish. They'll identify as, being Jewish and descending, from the Hebrews as they claim. This is proof that the curses do not apply to them because you got a whole family together. Meanwhile, our kids are separated from their parents, man. Our kids are, have to do that long journey by themselves. You know what I mean? So that's proof that the Bible is talking about us, man. And you know what I mean? And this oppressor is such, he's diabolical. You got to ask yourself why they had boarding schools, why they had missions, why they used the Bible against our people. Because they know who we truly are. They know who we are. And they know if they use the Bible against us, we would never dare touch that book ever again. That's why we receive the resistance we get from the indigenous community. You know what I mean? From our people because of the trauma. Because these bastards knew exactly how to hit us, so that we stay, you know, the way we are, and we never wake up.
Right, right. Absolutely, man. And you know, you were talking about the curses in Deuteronomy 28, and if you go into Deuteronomy 28 and 15, you know, for those people who come in and just can't believe the Bible, you know, the Bible's a white man, that
Right.
curse comes on us. But what it say? But it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, because we don't listen to the Lord and observe
Right.
all his commandments and his statutes, the ones he commanded us on that day, man, the
Right.
curses were going to overcome us and overtake us, right? And it says that we shall be cursed in the city and in the field.
Right.
Imagine that, man. And that's the way we are. And it says, and thy basket shall be cursed, and thy store shall be cursed, and the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep, and everything, man, will be cursed. And that's exactly the way we see it today. You know what I mean? That's what's happening to our people nowadays. We're seeing these people being treated respectfully. Man, Hispanic people have a lot of love. Man, let me tell you something. Now, I'm going to say this, man. You should all know that Hispanic people, man, we're kind people. We loving people, man. Our history shows it, man. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to go off the book a little bit. We've always been loving people. Even when we were killing each other, I had said the story of the War of the Flowers last week on the show with the general. I told you about the War of the Flowers. I told you it was a war where the Mexica were fighting against the Purupeches and other nations, and how they were killing each other. But they weren't killing each other. They would maim each other. They were in an agreement. Imagine what kind of people we are. What they did, they made an agreement. For instance, if I was one of the leaders of one of the tribes, and Malakma was the leader of one of the tribes, right?
Right.
This is to kind of show you what this was like. So me and Malakma would come to talk, right? He was one of the kings. I was the king, and I would come to Malakma and say, you know what, Malakma, there's a famine in the land, and you know what, Malakma, we're having trouble growing food, and our kingdom right now is in jeopardy because the gods have chosen to be against us. This is their ideology of the ancient Aztecs, the Mexica, and them, Purupeches and them. So then me and Malakma decided, you know what, let's make an agreement. You choose 100 of your men, and I'm going to choose 100 of my men. And we're going to have a war. And every so often, we're going to go out and our men are going to war against each other. And any man that loses the war will be taken captive, and he will be sacrificed to the God, so that we might get rain, so that our poverty might go away, so that we might have food again. So Malakma as a king and me as a king, we decided, okay, let's do that. And that's the way the War of the Flowers took place. They were maiming each other and being taken as hostages, as captives, and then they were being sacrificed to their gods. Now, I do not condone that whole scenario, but what I am saying is that we had some kind of order where it wasn't because I hated my brother, but it was because we thought this is the way things were going to work.
Right.
And this is the way the Platonis, this is the name that we gave our kings. They were known as Platonis. The word Platoni means one who speaks. So the one who speaks for the people are the ones who would make decisions. And this is the war that the Aztecs had with their people. Now, we didn't do it out of hate for each other. We did it out of ignorance, out of thinking that the God of rain, the God of snow, the God of the God of the sun, the God of the food, of the corn, we thought he was angry at us, and that only by sacrificing our men, they would show favor to us. But let me tell you something, out of ignorance. The white man is killing our people
Right.
out of pure hate, out of pure racism,
Right.
not because of ignorance, but because of hate. Go ahead,
Right.
Malakma.
Now, if I could, sir, I mean, who I wouldn't be surprised if there was, if there was some hatred between the tribes, and I would not be surprised if the hatred between the tribes, just like in today's time, is over a woman. You
Right.
wouldn't be, you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it past our ancestors that they were beefing over women. You know what I mean? Just like in today's time, that neighborhoods beef with each other, and you find out it's over women. So like, 'cause, you know what I mean?
And
But that's just my take.
the only reason I bring that story up, Malakma, is because if someone researches the story of the War of the
Right.
Flowers, right, that's what they'll find in it.
Right.
That's the written story of why the War of the Flowers took place.
Come.
Why thousands of Aztecs, thousands of Mexicas, thousands of Purupeches, thousands of different tribes were killing each other.
Right.
They were killing each other because they had come into an agreement for a war for the gods.
Right.
In their ignorance. That's why they did that. This is their perspective of why they did it. So I only gave that story because in no way do I understand their ignorance. They were going after other gods that don't even exist. It's just stupidity on their part. We know there's only one Most High Yahweh, creator of everything. They're in their ignorance, they did that. But what I am showing is this today. I am showing how, if you take a look at what the Mexicans are doing for the Ukrainians, and how they're showing love to them, respect, giving them a good place, to seek asylum, to find safety. And on the other hand, that same race, when it was our time to seek that, they treated us like animals.
Right.
They treated us with disrespect.
Right.
They treated us as if we were meaningless to them. That's the thing I'm showing. How when it's us, we know even how to treat our own people. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Even today, right? Like let's go to the war in Mexico, the drug cartel war. We see how violent it is, how violent our people are. But they're violent over drugs and territory and cartels. Man, this white boy who went and shot these black brothers and sisters in Buffalo, New York, brother, he didn't do it for nothing. He did it out of pure hate for black people.
Right.
He didn't do it because he was selling drugs or because someone was coming onto his territory. Because what do they say? Everything is fair in love and war. Isn't that a phrase they use?
Fair in love and war, right?
Everything is fair in love and war. When you go to war, when you see the soldiers in Iraq, right, killing innocent children and murdering the elderly there, and they say, well, because it's war, because they're the enemy, and then you can't even argue. Well, it's war. Shit, it's war. But this that America is committing on us is an act of war against us. But it's not a war. It's an act of war. What they're doing, what they did to the migrant children and the family, is an act of war towards Mexican people, towards Latin American people. What they're doing to black brothers and sisters in America is an act of war against blacks.
Right.
What they're doing to Native American Indian women and men, abductions and disappearing and rape and murdering, that's an act of war against Native American Indian people.
Right.
From who? From the white Caucasian man.
Right.
Go ahead, Go ahead.
I was say I don't want what they're doing, right? You can classify that as crimes against humanity. You can classify that as genocide. You can classify that as various crimes and atrocities. What is the violations of the Geneva Convention? Whatever you want to call it, man. This is the one that sticks with me is the crimes against humanity. That's what this white man has done to us since 1492, man. So our raza, like to our gente, wake up, man. If you truly tired of this, right? I know y'all are tired of this, but I understand that y'all had the zeal, but not according to knowledge. But the way to understand is to wake up, man, and stop loving this oppressor, man. Stop trying to win his love. For over 500 years, you've been trying to win this oppressor's love, man, and it's not working. Like something should click in y'all heads to understand that. You know what I mean? You can't love him. He hates you, so hate him back.
Right. You know, you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 25, and it says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten, killed before thine enemies.
Right.
And thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, and thy carcass shall be meat unto the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Man, that's us right there. That's Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We've been cursed that these nations that we seek, man, we seek help from this nation. Man, oh man, Mexicans love America, bro.
Right.
Like, I'm going to tell you right that Mexicans, man.
Right.
Basically, I'm going to say it. Man,
Good
Mexicans
night,
love America. Mexicans are so goddamn patriotic. Mexicans are so, you know, they honor the word Mexican American. To them, that's an honor to carry a word with double meaning, Mexican American. You know, they're proud of that shit. They're proud of being American. Go ahead.
Right. No, Salakia, I don't want, it's Salakia, sir. If I could, I don't want Salakia. It just dawned on me, sir. Like, it's the same thing with the Gadites. When they call themselves Native American, they just like us, like so patriotic, right? Both the Gadites, both the Issacharites. We go join the Esau's military. We try to be the best warriors from America. We try to be the most patriotic after everything that America has done to us, man. We still go out of our way to love America. And like we say, right? Calling yourself Mexican American is it's like it's an oxymoron, but you could say the same about Native American. Because you know what I mean? Like the term American in itself, that like that's what's it come from? Americo Vespucci. That's not who we are. That's an Italian that came over here and instilled his name on us. So we still identifying with this oppressor after everything they done to us, man. And that's heavy. I don't want that you brought that out. It's just, it dawned on me right about the Gadites. And it's just proof that we're the same people.
And if you go into Deuteronomy 28, right, and 32, when you used to hear this precept, you used to think it was only for our Judite brothers,
right,
whose children were taken from them, right, and sold to another nation.
Right.
You would think that precept only pertains to them, but the Lord has proven that we're all in this, and we're all the same. That Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we all this, because this same precept, Deuteronomy 28 and 32, is what happened to our Gadite brothers. This precept goes along with when the children were taken from Native American Indian people and put into the boarding schools and then put into a foster home and not given back to their families. Many Native American Indian children were displaced by putting them in foster homes, and they grew up like that. You know what I'm saying? And it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. That's what happened to our children. In the detention centers, thousands of children were taken from their families and then put up for adoption in America. It says, and the eye shall look and fail with longing for them all day and all night, and there shall be no might in thy hand. And you know what? Let me tell you something. That's us right there. That happened to the Mexican people also. Not too long ago, 5 years ago, a couple of years ago, the detention centers were separating Mexican children from their mothers. And then they were set and put up for adoption in different areas. They did that on purpose to separate us from our families. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Malakwan.
So, like, I just want to tell you, I have a precept for you. I don't want if I could, bring it out. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Right. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna read this article, the one exactly about what you're talking about, and it says like this: deported parents may lose kids to adoption. Investigation finds we have the kids. It says we have the kids in the U.S. and the parents down in Central America. It says, and now they'll bring all these welfare against into play. It's a recipe for danger. They're talking about that deportees, which are led off the plane onto San Salvador, are going without their children. And one lady said they want to steal my daughter. Right? It says her face contorted with pain. Her name was Ramos Bonilla. It says she burst into tears and exclaimed, they want to steal my daughter. It had been 10 weeks since Ramos had last seen her 2-year-old Alexa. 10 weeks since she was arrested crossing the border into Texas. U.S. immigration authorities seized her daughter and told her she would never see the girl again. What followed? One foster family's initially successful attempt will fall custody of Alexa. So you have these children, right, being adopted because they're being taken from their families. You know what I'm saying? And then put into adoption centers. They could have easily deported her and her daughter, but that's not what they're doing. They're separating our children. And why? Because it's prophetic. Because it meets with Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Just for you to know that you, Salvadoreños, you Guatemaltecos, you Mexicans, you Central Americans, South Americans, you are of the 12 tribes of Israel. And
right.
the curses pertain to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why this is happening, because you still can't believe that you are Israelites. Because you still think you're a goddamn Christian or a goddamn Catholic. And you need proof. And the Lord is proving to you by showing you these things, by taking your children. They're not taking America's not taking your children. Let me tell you who's taking your children. The Lord's curses are taking your children. The Lord is proving to you because you don't want to believe in the Lord, because you don't want to come back to law, statutes, and commandments, because you don't want to be, who you really are supposed to be. The Lord is bringing those curses upon you.
Right.
Go ahead, Milan.
Nah, that's heavy. I don't want that you bring that out. You know what I mean? Like, our people don't want to believe what the scriptures say. What is it? The ass knoweth its owner and the ox knoweth its owner, but Israel does not know. Like, so basically, the two dumbest animals know their master, but Israel does not know that it's Israel. And the fact that our people, right, indigenous First Nations people, our raza, right, that refuse to believe they're Israelites, like, little do they know that's proof that you're Israelite. The fact that you refuse to accept it is the proof that you're an Israelite. Because what is also in the book of Ezekiel that he says, right, you can go to, if you were to go to another nation and let them know that they're God's chosen, they'll believe you. But Israel, right, is stiff-necked. Paraphrasing it, of course, right? They do not know. They won't accept it. But you go to another people, you tell them they're Israel, they're God's chosen people, they'll accept it and believe you. But our people will not accept it. They will not believe it. They will not, and that's the proof. That's more proof that we're the people of that book.
Absolutely. And what we're seeing today, man, is how we're good people,
Right.
But Christ said himself, there is no good. There is nobody good.
Right.
Only God is good. But us, we think we're good. We think we're trying to be good. We're trying to show the world how good we are by and once again, I'm going to show these pictures by making other nations feel welcome. by making these Ukrainians feel good. Look at the water. Look at all this stuff on the side of the road that they're taking to them. You know what I'm saying? For they can feel at home. For they can feel good. Look, they got clean clothes. They're allowing them. Look at this. Look at this. These are the Ukrainians, man, being treated fairly. Look at that. This is how Mexicans treat these people. This is how our nation treats them.
This is a thank you for a Lord Nazi Russo, I don't want.
What's that?
This is the response to a Lord Nazi Russo.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Look at them. Look at them gathering. Look at them singing. They couldn't do that when they were in the detention center.
Good
you know what I'm
night,
saying?
Man.
We weren't allowed to do that right there. If we started doing that, we were disrupting. We were becoming disruptive if we did that.
Right.
Look at their detention areas. Look at their waiting areas. Look at how they're being treated. Look at their homes. This is about humanity. Good night. This is about humanity. They didn't. Who the hell thought about humanity when our children were in the detention centers?
Right. Good night, I don't want.
Where was the humanity when it was our turn to be seeking asylum? Where was the humanity at then? What happened? They forgot about humanity when it was our turn?
Right. Salah, if I could, you won't see this is about humanity banner in the detention centers. You won't find that sign up in there.
Oh no. Where was that banner at in the detention center, huh?
Right.
Where was it in Texas? Where was it in El Paso? Look at this. They turned their basketball courts into housing for them.
Right.
Look at that. And you know what? 10 years from now, these goddamn little monsters that you see right there will tell the story of how horrible this was.
Right.
They'll tell the story of what a terrible time they had having to live in this condition. They're gonna cry and whine, and that little monster right there is gonna become one of the active shooters because of the trauma he went through living in this condition.
Right.
When he flee his country.
That's your future Lord Nazi Russo, I don't want.
And when they capture him and he tells his story, they'll have compassion for him.
Right.
And they'll be like, "Oh, we understand. Poor kid. Poor what he had to go through in Tijuana at the detention center."
Good night, man.
He misunderstood the trauma that he went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To them, that'll be an excuse of why he has to be set free, or why he's not guilty. Malakma. That's why he's not guilty.
Right.
They had to go through all this.
Right, sir.
That's why these people, when they commit a crime, look at this. When they commit a crime, when they go and shoot up a school or shoot up a liquor store or shoot up not even a liquor store, a supermarket. Look at this. Look at them where they live. Like we do that on the weekend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they'll use that as an excuse. Look at this. They got all their toys there. Look at this. Look at the families together. Look. That's in Tijuana, carnal. That's in Tijuana right there.
Tijuana, the one. That's crazy,
That's
sir.
in Baja California. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're going to tell the story of what a horrible time they had there.
What a horrible time.
Yeah,
Good night.
How oppressive it was for that. How could we live like that? You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Salvadoranians and Guatemaltecos were not treated like that.
Right.
They did not get a walk in the park. Look, I'm going through all the images. Look at that. Look at that, Malakma.
Kawakan, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
I see it.
Look, the police there, they're not treating them the way Mexicans were treated.
Man.
They're not having to get a water through a cage. Look at holding their children in their arm at the park. You know what I'm saying?
So like you, sir, she don't have to breastfeed her child through a fence.
No, they don't. Look at this. They covered all the walkways, and this is Tijuana right here, brother. You know this is Tijuana right here.
Right. And
This
so
is
from
the
that
border,
right there.
right? And apart from that, they're letting in thousands of them. Right here, look, thousands of them to get asylum into America. And our people, they couldn't get no kind of asylum.
Salakia, I don't want if I could. Just a quick question, sir.
Go ahead.
How the hell these Ukrainians know to go to Mexico?
Man,
You know what I mean? How these goddamn Ukrainians know to go to Mexico? Why not go straight to America? Why you gotta go to Mexico first? You damn, you bastards want to come over here take advantage of my people. That's why. Because they know we'll let them in. They know we'll give them the 5-star treatment. Because they know Americans won't. The white man won't give them that same treatment because the white man's not, you know what I mean? They lack brotherhood. They lack, compassion and all that stuff. They'll, just like the way they treated the Irish when they first came. The Ukrainians don't want that, but they know that we will treat them right. So they go to Mexico first.
You're right. You know what? I think they saw what happened to the Mexican people and the Latin American people, and they probably were like, hell, I don't think I want to go through that. Let's just go to Mexico.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because in Mexico, at least, look, they gave their children a place to chill, be good. You know what I'm saying? They ain't worried about nothing. Look, they ain't worried about nothing right there. Look at that.
Right.
Look at that. They have masks on. The detention centers in America, they didn't even give them masks.
Right.
They were dying of COVID. In the peak of the COVID infection, they were the detention centers. No one had masks. You know what I'm saying? This is the Ukrainians look in Mexico right there. And I'll bet you that those barbed wires are not for them, but to keep Mexicans out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a terrible picture right there.
Sir.
Like,
man,
people just don't know. You know, people just don't know. Like, why would you even look at this? The palm trees, the nice grass, their little tents. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a vacation for these people.
Right.
I can't believe that Mexico is treating these Ukrainian immigrants with so much love, giving them a place to stay, giving them housing, tents, letting them bring in water and food, and treating them with all this respect. And when it came to Mexican, Latin American people seeking the same asylum, seeking the same help, that we will receive with hate, that we will receive with disgrace, that we will receive with animosity towards us. You know what I'm saying? When we were seeking the same thing these Ukrainians are seeking. And look at this, man. Look at these Ukrainians. Look at that one guy crying.
Man.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Man, save your white tears, man.
Right. Those that's not for us, man.
Right.
You know what? Absolutely, IR. Man, they're living rent-free right there. Getting all the food. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. They're living better right there, right now, in the encampments of Tijuana than they ever lived in their goddamn Ukrainian home, bro. Out there in the Ukraine, they were not treated the way they're being treated right now in Baja California, Tijuana.
Right.
Like, this is a paradise. This is a vacation for them.
Right.
And it's all over the news. Have you seen this before?
Sir.
No, because you know what? They keep it real. Like, America doesn't want to show this. America, on the American news, on the news channels in the United States, you do not see the encampments of Tijuana all day long on the news. They are not showing how Mexican people are treating Caucasian people. They're not showing that because it's an embarrassment to them. This is an embarrassment to the United States. to show that Mexican people have compassion for other people, to show that Latin American people, that we are humane, that we do have some type of love for humanity compared to the goddamn Americans, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Americans, they protested, you know, deport them, calling us wetbacks, calling us murderers, calling us all these things. And yet now the tables are turned, and now Mexico has Caucasians who are seeking help from a torn, worn country. And guess what? We're showing a whole different side of who Mexican people are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look at this picture. Look at this picture. That's a day in the park. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, Ayar says it's a rent-free 5-star Mexican service.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Damn right, Ayar. Damn right, carnal. That's exactly what it is. A rent-free 5-star Mexican service. They got taqueros out there giving the Ukrainian people tacos. They got mariachis out there playing music for them. They're taking them water, blankets. They're taking them tents. They're taking them folding chairs. They got their security all around. Man, that's a shame, brother.
They give them a shirt off their back if they could.
What's that?
So like, when they said they would give them the shirt off their back if they could.
Absolutely. You're right about that. You're right about that, Malak. When they would give the shirt off the back if they could. You're damn right. Because you know what? That's the way Mexican people are. Right. You know what? We show a lot of love to everybody. You know what? We show brotherhood. Right. Even where we shouldn't. Even where we shouldn't show brotherhood, we show brotherhood, man. We show brotherhood whenever we can. When we have it, whatever little we have, we show brotherhood. When we can't, we already know that we all in the same boat. We all struggling, and we try, but sometimes it's not possible. But even in our worst times, we show brotherhood. You know what I mean? We show some kind of love. Because we have to, we got to try. If it's not one of us, it's the other one of us. But we do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, Malakma? But that's that we're seeing, man. Just to go to show you how, you know, Mexican people, right? Hispanic people, how humane we are.
Right.
You know, you have to be on my StreamYard StreamYard connection of Facebook StreamYard to see these images that I'm showing of what the detention center looks like in Mexico, Baja California, Tijuana, in comparison to what the same thing looks like in America. The Ukrainians who are seeking asylum and need to be in Tijuana and seeking refuge because of the war have tents, are living in a park, the Mexican people have opened their gyms, gymnasiums, and put beds. They have taken them blankets. They have taken them tents. They got taqueros making food for them. They spread out tables with coffee and food and water. They got their families living all together. They got toys for the kids. They're entertaining them. They're taking care of them as if they were their own.
Right.
In comparison to America, when the same thing happened to Latin American people and they came to America seeking that same asylum, what they did to them was put them in cages, separate their families, keep them with cold meals, not give them water. What were they saying? They can drink toilet water. Isn't that what they said?
Right.
Isn't that what they said? They said they can drink toilet water. Let me tell you something. America is shameful. Right. Anyone who loves this nation is probably just as wicked as this nation is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what they did to our family was shameful, man. That's exactly what it is. It's a shame to think that a nation that's so rich couldn't help out our people the way that a nation that's broke, that finds itself in misery, war-torn country, a drug-infested, a war zone nation right now has made a little small room and has made time to help out another nation that seeks help. And they don't deserve it because they're animals.
Right.
So I'm not trying to give them any kind of props. The props I'm giving here is to Mexican people, to Latin American people who have humanity,
right,
who know how to treat another human being, who have love. And you know why? Because Mexicans are naturally like that. Because the Lord has placed that spirit on us, the spirit of brotherhood. Go ahead, Malakma.
Nah, it's heavy you say that, sir, because it's true, right? There's a reason why the scriptures say, right, when the earth is in the hands of the righteous, the world rejoices. But when the wicked bear rule, the world mourns, right? And that's how you know that we're a righteous people. Because we even put a banner up, right? A banner up to say this is about humanity. And we're helping out these Ukrainians. Because you could imagine, right? Had this been the state of Israel, and let's say it was the Lord Nazi Russo out there, you damn well know those Israelis would not even let a Ukrainian step foot on that territory. You know what I mean?
Right.
They would never help them. But us, we'll help them after we got a Ukrainian or Russian, man, same thing. They're the same nation, man. Try to act like they're different people. They're the same people. You have one of them come over here to our country, right, our land, mistreat us, and we still open the door for you devils. We still open the door and house y'all and talk about how humane we are. Versus America, right? America, you know, let one Mexican do a crime and America pushes the campaign to get rid of illegal immigrants. As a matter of fact, a president won his election by demonizing all Mexicans because one Mexican did something bad. You know what I mean? That's how these devils are versus the way we are, man.
Right.
They find any little excuse to dehumanize us and take away our humanity. Versus us, we find any excuse and any way to give them some humanity. You know what I mean?
Right.
We do the opposite.
Connor, and let me tell you something. Let me add this, right? Let me add this. That we're not only talking about the Ukrainians here, because when the Haitians needed help and they fled their country, and the Haitians came to Tijuana to try to get asylum into the United States, man, we did the same thing for them. They have a community in Tijuana that was given to the Haitians because they needed help. And Tijuana opened their doors, man, and gave them an area. And now you go to Tijuana, they got Haitian restaurants, they got Haitian food, they got Haitian communities, they got stores. They help them also. So Mexican people in general, we're just a helping people. Let me tell you, Ayar says a Mexican in TJ, right, will kill their own just to live like these devils.
Right.
And that's a sad truth. That's a damn sad truth that we would kill our own people to live the way these bastards live, the way they have. But you know what? What shame is that the Mexican people, when the Salvadorian people were coming, man, they should have treated them the same way. But they did.
Right.
I remember they did. I remember there was an issue going down with migrants coming from Central America into Mexico because the Mexican people were helping them, giving them food, giving them water, but they were giving them beans and rice and bread. But you know what? Once again, we give whatever we can. We ain't got what we can't give, we don't give it. But even beans and rice, you know, I don't know what the complaint was because I eat beans and rice every goddamn day.
Right.
You know, to me, that's my meal, beans and rice daily. Like you give me a torta, beans, cheese, and rice, brother, I'm good. And a Coke, man, brother, I'm good. That's my meal. Man. That's my daily meal, carnal. I'm gonna tell you something. My wife prepares beans de la olla, arroz, queso, y una torta, brother, a piece of bread, and I'm
I don't
good.
want.
Go ahead.
If I could, give me a tortilla with mantequilla. I'll be good with that, man.
Man, I'm telling you, brother. Like Mexicans, man, we don't really see
Oh,
food
man.
as like, oh, I need a, I need this and that. That doesn't matter to us. I eat good with un bolillo, queso y frijoles.
Right.
Chiles, rebanadas de chiles, brother. I'm good. And then they throw some egg in there. I'm good with the egg, man. It's making me hungry already. Just to think of un bolillo con huevo and frijoles y un chile, that already makes me hungry as it is. Because we ain't a picky people either. We don't need all that. But that just goes to show you, man. That just goes to show you how Hispanic people really are. Right now, the true nature of Hispanic people is being exposed at the border in Tijuana. And it was exposed at the border of Acuna, when you've seen all kinds of Mexican people over there helping out those Haitians. And let me tell you something. That's how you know we Israel. Because the ISUPK went out there with truckloads of goods to help the Haitian people also. And you know what? And that's brotherhood. And if these people don't show brotherhood, it's because they ain't our brothers.
Right.
You need to get in your head. The reason why America doesn't show that kind of love to us is because they're not our brothers.
Right.
It's because they're not our people. It's because they are not part of our nation. And you know what? They should treat us like that because we don't mean nothing to them. The problem here is that Black, Hispanics, Native American Indians, man, we cannot get that through our head. And we treat them with more respect than we treat our own brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We treat them with more respect than we treat our own brothers. And this is the lesson that we need to learn. That we need to start treating each other the way we treat them. All that they're giving them should be for us.
Right.
All that they're getting should be, man. What is that precept that says about giving your food to the dogs? What is that precept?
Where Christ gave where the Phoenician woman?
You're not supposed to give your bread to the dogs.
That's Salakia.
What is that precept? That we shouldn't give our man Salakia. And it's because I'm erasing some things here because I wanna make sure I bring something up here. We should not give our food to dogs. Here we go. Give me
Salakia, other one. You talking about Matthew 15 and 26?
What is it?
Hold on, I'm gonna go right there right now, other one. Matthew chapter 15, verse 26. But he answered and said, "It is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs." So, like, other one, can you hear me?
Now I remember, you should not cast your pearls onto the swine. You know what I'm saying? You got me, Malak? Can you hear me?
Come on.
Out for a little bit. But cast your pearls on the swine. That's the precept, Malakma.
Oh, come on.
Now, all this help that we're giving these people is like us casting our pearls onto swine.
Come on.
All the help that's being given to these people in of the Ukraine in Tijuana, man, that's us wasting what could be given to our people, and we're giving it to people that don't even deserve it.
Come on.
Man, they don't deserve any of that that's being given to them right now.
Right.
Because the Ukrainian people that were here in America never stepped up to help our people when they were in the
Right.
detention. Where were the protests of these goddamn Ukrainians for the release of our children?
Right.
Where were they at? Where were all these people that are going to take food and water to their Ukrainian brothers and sisters in Tijuana? Well, why didn't they help us out when we were being held captive and our children were being mistreated and our women raped and our brothers were dying in these detention centers? Where was the love that they showed? Where's that at? Man, may shame fall on them now that it's our turn to show what it's like to be human, to show what it's like to be humane, to show what it's like to give, help when needed. You know what I'm saying? And
sir.
these bastards don't understand that. Go ahead, Malako.
I was gonna say, I don't want. Where was NATO at? Where was NATO at and the EU at?
Right. Where was these human rights activists? Where was the Christian church? Where was the Catholic Church?
Right.
Where was all their help out when it was needed?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But let this be a lesson to us that, you know what, that precept is heavy. We should not cast our pearls onto swine, because that's what these people are. These people are swine. They don't deserve our help. They don't deserve our love. They don't deserve any of that that's being given to them, man. They don't deserve it.
Damn right, I don't want.
You know what I mean? They don't deserve none of that.
God.
They should have been rejected from coming into our country.
Damn right.
That's what they should have been. They should have been rejected. They should have been like, no, you can't seek help here. Go seek help with your race, with your Caucasian people. Let them help you out. See if they're going to do it.
Right.
You know, they would not help them out either. You know what I'm saying? They would have found that help there with them.
Right.
And let me see if I can bring this picture up real quick. I'm making an effort to get rid of this just so I can show this picture. And I'll show you why I say that. Let me see. Give me a second here. Here we go. Now we got it. Let me show you why this is so. If you're going to help anybody, right, you should be helping your own people. You should be helping your people, because now I showed you how they're living in the detention centers, right?
Right.
I'm showing you how they're living in their detention centers, correct? Let me show you how we're living. Let me show you how we're living our daily life in Tijuana. Our daily life, carnal. See that building back there, Malakma?
I see it, sir.
That's the what is that?
Amazon?
That's Amazon.
Right.
Look at that. And this is Amazon, and this is how we live. And this is how they have the Ukrainians. And this is our homes. This is where we live every day. This is what we got to come home to every day. So brothers who think they live in poverty in America, because you think you live in the ghetto in America, take a good look at where my Mexican people live. And they've been living there for a long time. And they see no end to that poverty that you see there. Meanwhile, the Ukrainians, they're living it up. They're living lusciously even in our country. And meanwhile, us, we live in poverty. That's poverty. Sir. Go ahead.
I don't want, just a quick question. Where do these Ukrainians stay when they come to the United States? Where they at? Like Glendale, North Hollywood, that type of area?
Burbank, North Hollywood. Those are the areas where you find more Ukrainians. And let me tell you something. They're going to start bringing thousands of Ukrainians into America. And you know what? We're going to start seeing us having to move to San Bernardino, because they're going to need those properties to live in. Wherever you're living now, they're going to need it to house Ukrainians.
Salaki, I wanted to ask that real quick, because here's my thing, right? Can you imagine Amazon building a giant warehouse in one of their neighborhoods? You think Amazon will be allowed to come in and do that? They would not have it.
No, never. Never, never. They would never have it. You know what I'm saying? They would never do that. You know where they have a Ukrainian culture center? They have a Ukrainian culture center right there in Melrose.
And Melrose, okay,
Now,
Comic-Con.
if you don't know about Los Angeles, Melrose is like the rich area.
Right,
It's the Hollywood area.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where they're at. You know,
Comic-Con, sir. That's heavy. I don't want.
yeah, that's where they're at. They're living in the good areas. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? They're living in the nice areas of LA. They
right,
don't live just anywhere.
right. So that can you imagine the outrage had the city of Los Angeles wanted to tear down that Melrose Center and want to build an Amazon warehouse right there at that location? Can you imagine the outrage of these Ukrainians, of these Russians, if that were the case?
Right. You're looking at that Ukrainian centers like in Los Feliz, bro. You know where Los Feliz is, right?
Comic-Con, sir.
That's right there by Griffith Park.
Comic-Con.
You're looking at the Burbank. You're looking at
Right.
Echo Park area.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying?
Comic-Con.
These are the areas where you find these people. You don't find them in our areas because they don't want to
Right.
move in with us. They
Right.
want our help, but they won't move in with us. You know what I mean?
Comic-Con, sir.
That's-
They will
that's
open up a
shady.
dispensary though.
Oh yeah, that's what they're gonna start doing. They're gonna be guided into time to make money. Let's open dispensaries. Anyways, the blacks and the Mexicans will make you rich.
Comic-Con.
The black and the Mexicans will make sure that your family is well. You know what I'm saying? There's reports in Tijuana that they see SUVs, you know, the Suburbans and the Range Rovers and the Mercedes SUVs going into Tijuana to take goods to these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's who's helping them out. You know what I mean?
But
who's helping our people out? No one's helping our people.
Nobody.
No one's helping us out. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
That's a shame. Man, it's already 11 o'clock, Malak, with the water for being on the show, man. But man, I'm going to be posting this like crazy. And we're going to be talking about this. We should be talking about this in ISUPK Mexico, ISUPK Latino America, and we should definitely bring this up for our new show. What is that? La Mera Neta.
La Mera Neta.
La Mera Neta coming on Monday. We'll get together on Monday, man, and we'll all join in. You know, all of us ISUPK Mexico brothers will be joining in, man, and we will be talking about this, man, more because this cannot go unheard. You know what I mean?
Sir.
It cannot go unheard. Ayar and all of us will be on Monday. Hopefully that we can all talk about and all put our word in for what's going on, man. I'm gonna make it a thing to talk about this, man. We got to see the difference, man. This is a great way of exposing the wickedness of America and the love that Mexican people have. You know what I'm saying?
Sir. Damn right.
Absolutely. Man, with that, I'm gonna call it the water for everybody for joining in the show and watching. Most High in Christ as always, man. Share the show, right? Like and share, pass it on. Let's get people to see, man, what's going on. We're not here for us, man. We're here for our people, man, especially for our Latinos, Black, and Native American Indians, man. We all need to understand this. Man, this is the brotherhood. These Ukrainians, they are brothers, man. They don't love us. They don't show no love for us. We don't show love for each other. Who's going to show love for us? Man, to water everybody for joining once again. This is the Inconvenient Truth, you know, every Wednesday night. Don't forget tomorrow, Captain Gadalhar's a scripture breakdown class tomorrow, Thursday, and Black Watch Salakia, what is that radio show tomorrow?
West Radio.
Our West Coast radio show tomorrow night. Let me bring it up real quick to make sure we got it. The One West Radio show tomorrow night. The One West Radio show right here with Captain Gadalhar. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tune in Thursday night at 10 p.m. You know what I'm saying? To get that the One West Radio show. Don't forget ISUPK Puerto Rico, la escuela, el hogar de la verdad. ISUPK Puerto Rico for your Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can jump on and check out our show right there. Also, you know, they got Hebrew classes in Spanish, so you can learn the Hebrew in Spanish and in English. You know what I'm saying? That's two with one stone. And don't forget, we got ISUPK Mexico. You know what I'm saying? ISUPK Mexico, biblical classes in Spanish, la verdad, en tu idioma. Tune in with us, ISUPK Mexico, every day on Facebook, on
Right.
YouTube. We're getting into that Twitter, right, Malakma?
Okay.
So jump onto that ISUP Mexico. Remember, we also got ISUPK Rio Grande and definitely ISUPK Latino America. So tune in, you know, bring in your raza, man. Bring in people. We all know Mexicans. You know what I mean? So tune in, man. This is the Inconvenient Truth. As always, every Wednesday, the water for everybody for joining me. ISUPK California. Till next week, don't forget also to like your ISUPK The Red. So next week, Shalom, Israel. Y'all about Shemi
Nah,
Shabbat.
brother.
What
Yeah, but-
Malak for being on the show today.
Hey, the water to you, sir. The water for bringing me on. I appreciate you. Shalom.
Until next, Shalom, Israel. Good class, Malakma. Good class.
Hey, Most High in Christ, Adawan.
Man, that's monstrous, huh?
Kawakan.
Yeah, I'm gonna start making some flyers on that. I'm gonna post that shit all over the place.
Kawakan. Salai, I think you're still live.